Welcome back, dear students. In the earlier session, we were talking about whether the activity of translation is a science or a craft or an art. So, uh, yes, it was all to do with it was all both the science art and craft when it is when all these are involved in a translation, it is said to be a ideal translation. For that we had seen the example of Fitzgerald's uh, Khayyam Rubaiyat's translation was an ideal translation. In this session, we would like to talk about the various types of translation. Yes, so there are various types of translations. Why there are various types of translation? What is the necessity of the various types of translation? Yes, for that, a translator has to consider the nature of the text. So, what kind of translation the writer or the translator is doing? uh, yes, he has to consider first. Then the translator will make different adjustments while translating a poem on the one hand and a scientific text on the other. As in our earlier sessions we came to know, we understood, we discussed that a translator has to make so many adjustments on the basis of content, on the basis of form, yes, on the basis of genre, on the basis of cultural nuances, yes, before uh, considering any text, okay, he has to make different adjustments while translating a poem. uh, while translating a poem as well as while translating a scientific text are very different nuances, very different natures. So he has to make a lot of adjustments before translating whether a literary work or is it a scientific text or is it a poem or is it a novel. Yes, with all these things he has to make a little bit of adjustments. So what is the nature of the text we are translating? So he has to consider before translating a text what is the nature of that text it is. Then who are we translating it for? He should understand the readers for whom I am going to translate this work. So, what is the necessity of translating this text? Why are we translating it? So, he should answer himself first. He should come to know all these aspects first. Then he can translate any work of art. To what extent do we need to be faithful to the original? This is very important because this is very much challenging for any translator. How much I am faithful? I am means my text is faithful to the original text. So it is very challenging task. Yes, then these questions will help us to decide which type of translation to go in for. So these are the questions which will answer what kind of translation we need to take up. So with this much of understanding, we want to discuss what are the various types of translation. Yes, for that the first one is word for word translation. The title itself is very significant, dear students, because in this type of translation, the primary unit of translation is the word. So, what is the primary unit of word for word translation is, that is words. Word is the primary unit of translation. So, a substitute of each word in the source language is made from the target language, and the order of words remains the same as in the source language. For example, if we are translating a grammatical text or a grammar book, then we can make use of this type of translation. So here every word is substituted in the source language into the target language. So this is based on the principle that while translating a text, no word should be left untranslated. So we, as a translator, he should not leave any word from the original text into the target text or target language. So he should not omit any word. Then a word which does not occur in the original text should be included in the translated text, as well as he cannot or he should not add any word uh, from into the target text or the target language which was not used in the original language. So he should keep it in his mind. So for example, of word for word translation can also be found in legal texts. If you are translating a legal document or legal text or legal material from one language into another language, so we should keep it in our mind that the primary unit of translation is word here. We should not neither omit any word nor add any word. So where the legal terms are already codified and have to be substituted for the words in the source language, already some legal terms are already codified in the source language. So a translator need not omit, explain or add or omit any word from the source language. Yes. Then we have the second type of translation is literal translation. Literal translation. So dear students, many translators believe that an ideal translation is one in which all the words of the source language text are translated. Means, so here in this type of translation, it is also so many times called as ideal translation, because in which all the words of the source language text are translated. So no words are left untranslated. That's why it is always sometimes said to be ideal translations, as well as no additions are made by the translator. So even the translator should not add any words, nor he cannot omit any word in this type of translation. So again, it may be possible to use this type of translation even among two dissimilar languages when the text is more information oriented and less opinion oriented. So this is the aim or this is the need of the literal translation. Where when we use literal translation, the answer is this kind of translation is more information oriented. So there is more knowledge oriented, more information oriented, uh, and less opinion oriented. So here uh, information is transformed from one language into another language. For instance, translation of scientific and technical texts may make use of this type of translation. For example, if you are translating a scientific research article from one language into another language, so there is need of information translation from one language into another language. So it is also called as word to word translation. It can also be understood as word to word translation or literal translation. There is less scope for opinion oriented. So it is more to do with information oriented. And the next one is, we have here free translation. So what actually meant by free translation? It is a translated text appears to be free from the word for word equivalents of the source language text. Here translator doesn't translate word for word translation, or else he will not find equivalents from the original or the source language text. There appears to be hardly any relationship between the form of the original text and its translation. Here, it is not merely translation of words, transfer of words, reproduction of words from one language into another language. No. Here, the emphasis is on capturing the sense of the original text. It is not replacing words from one language into another language. Rather, here the importance is given to the sense, that is, the meaning of the original text should be translated. This is very interesting kind of translation, I believe. So if literal type of translation is suitable for those texts which have more information content. For example, earlier the second type of translation was literal translation, where you can translate legal texts from one language into another language. That is all to do with more information content. Free translation suits those texts which also evoke a particular emotional response among its readers. For example, when we translate a poem of Kuvempu from Kannada into English language, so or else Wordsworth's poem from English into Kannada language, it evokes an emotional response, a feeling you get in free translation. Yes, in other words, free translation is more suitable for literary texts. For example, any literary text, any poem, a drama, a novel, or a short story. So any literary text, if you want to translate, free translation is more suitable, while literal translation generally suits scientific and technical texts. Yes, dear students, we will move on to the next type of translation, that is conceptual translation. So the title itself very significant here. So conceptual translation is based on the principle that the concept or the message is more important. Very, very interesting. Here, transforming, reproducing concept or the message is more important than translating mere words. So that is the aim or that is the need of the conceptual translation. As such, a translator ought to lay more emphasis on the communication of the message rather than the translation of each and every word in the text. So, a translator must give emphasis on the passing of the message or the communication rather than translation of each and every word in the text. Message, communication or concept is more important in this kind of translation rather than the translation of word in the text. This is also very interesting kind of translation. So conceptual translation is generally a shorter translation because yes, translator need not just merely translate words. So rather he wants to communicate the message or the concept. That's why it is shorter in structural length than the message in the original text. Usually it is very shorter in structural length than the message in the original text, because here the translator gives importance to the message, dear students. That is why, as such, conceptual translation is generally used when instructions are to be given to people who cannot read them in the original language. For example, when the readers are not able to read the original language, so then at the time of giving some instructions, for example, no smoking board, no smoking board is used or applied, or you come across in the buses, rather than writing so many sentences, don't smoke here, don't smoke cigarettes, don't smoke BDs, rather than writing so many sentences as or words, it is better to write no smoking. So this is the kind of conceptual translation. So with this much of discussion, we want to stop now, dear students. In this session we have discussed the what are the nuances of translation, what are the need of translation, and what are the various types of translations we discussed. And we will continue the discussion of the other types of translations in our next class. Thank you.